Good afternoon and a huge warm welcome to Carnation Crafts. We're live in the Carnation studios. It's wonderful to have your company, and boy have we been busy. Summer Cascades. It's nearly gone. There's not much of the stock left. We're very much limited now. It's not going to last till midnight. I wouldn't have thought for a second. So today is your final chance to get this from Carnation themselves on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. You've got a number of 240501 if you want to search it that way, or you can use the QR code at the bottom of the screen to take you directly to it. Show price today, $129.99. It's usually $149.99. I say usually, it will be $149.99, but that's going to be at the end of the week. So you have got the week, although they won't have any stock left of it. If you buy all the individual pieces, though, you would have been looking at £168.92. There's going to be free UK P&P. If you're abroad, you can still purchase the collection, but you will have different shipping and handling fees. That'll be $4.95 for the collection. Or if you wish to add in a pack of papers, that's going to take you up to $14.95 shipping and handling. We have got the most gorgeous set for you today that's full of scene building. It's got all your get-togethers out in the garden with a glass of Pimm's. It's all very, very summer and joy and all of the good things. Summer Cascades has been incredibly busy, no surprise there. It comes with two card shapes. One is the most extraordinary piece of engineering, which is your Arbor Stepper card shape. Beautiful to look at, beautifully designed. We did have 3 shows with it yesterday and 1 this morning. Plenty of time to grab all of the inspiration you need. Now, for now, we're going to go forward with looking at the boards, find out what you get in this crazy awesome collection, and then we're going to go through some finished samples with you and then some demos. If you're sitting at home watching the show and you've already received your collection, let us know, because it's always exciting to know that it's in your paws, and we always like to hear that you've got it safely. So we're going to have a look at the boards, find out what you're getting. For those of you who are just joining us today and you haven't seen any of the other shows, just to let you know, this is the last show that we'll be doing on this on the Carnation Crafts channel, and so it'll be your last chance to get this while we're live as such. This is your Arbor Stepper card shape. So it's stunning. You've got the artwork, by the way, is free. So if you're brand new to Carnation and you're watching, you're like, well, how did they colour that in? It's because you get to download it and you get to use that with your dies, and all your colours are taken care of, okay? So that's all free to you. And I'll talk to you about vignettes in a second, because we do have a special offer. Your Arbor Stepper card shape has got the outside die, and then it's got your matte layer die, and then it's got the piece itself, which is the main die cut, and that provides this shape here. However, you don't need to use the actual card base or mats and layers if you don't want. It will work independently. It's engineered to. Are you going to cut it down and use part of it? Are you going to use all of it? Are you going to add in the decoupage? Are you going to cut away elements that you don't need for a card that you're building? The way it works is a line here and a line here allows you to fold it inward and then back out. So you've got almost a Z fold that way. Same on the other side, so it will stand independently. And then you have this wonderful piece here, which allows you to concertina all of this in a mountain and valley fold, so that when you put 2 together, you can stabilize it, and you've got layers to build height. So on the very back one, I might put some tall florals. On the very front one, for instance, I might put the little mouse, so I'm gaining that perspective. You also get your hanging basket there and your vines, and you also get your enjoy your day sentiment too, so you can see how packed that is. From there, we've got your garden rose corner. Stunning piece. I love this. Now, I know lots of you have fallen absolutely in love with this. You can make a card all on its own. It has got a base for it, so you can just create with this one. It does have decoupage elements for you, so you can build it up and get your dimension going, or you can use them independently. It's entirely what you want to do. With love, beautiful sentiment to have as well. Gorgeous font that they've used here. And then we've got this really beautiful muted corner. I love this so much. It gives it almost a shabby chic feeling. It's very, very pretty. And again, it has its own matte layer. So you might want to use your perfect papers under there to build up colour and establish a different colour corner way. It's up to you how you want to choose to play with it. From there, we've got your grand window. I love this so much. I'm so smitten with this. So you have got the main card base here. So you've got your card blank, if you like. Then you've got your mats and layers, and I love, love, love that. But this itself will work independently. Now, obviously, the two can work together. It's designed that way. But this will work as a card on its own. It'll work beautifully with DLs. It will work with your Arbor Stepper card shape as well. So you can see how versatile it is. You can do so much with it. I can cut down the pip lines here to create open windows, so it doesn't have to be a closed window. I've got my garden boxes there to put florals in front of it. I can use them on the top or the bottom, either way. So you're building those scenes again. That's what we're talking about, aren't we? Building those scenes, and to have that gorgeous window. It's kind of the idea of going to, you know, summer fetes and garden parties, possibly in stately homes, that kind of thing. You're building up that elegance and that grandeur with this collection. And it's really easy to do because they're so beautiful. You've got your sunny celebrations here. You've also got a destroyed set, sorry Taz. You've got your sunny celebrations. This is all your festivities, isn't it? So your balloons, your flags, your bunting. Think of street parties. Think of, you know, it's that idea of sort of jubilee parties when you have that big celebration in a street. You've got your everything for birthdays as well, might I add. So a full cake and then a slice of cake. Lollies, ice creams. Then you've got your, obviously, your glass of vino, with the glasses behind, sorry, the bottle and the glasses, and then possibly some water there as well. And then we have got your stunning summer comforts. I love this. It's so blooming clever. You've got the table, so we've got all the elements to put onto it with all the napkins and the tablecloth, or I can use it as a base for the couch. So I can put that on top. This could just be, you know, on the floor, like almost like that futon idea, but you can actually build it to work here. So they're mixing and matching, and that's clever, not least because it becomes economical for us as well. We've got leg extensions, so you can have the table as high or as low as you want. So a coffee table here, or then a much taller table with all your beautiful tea elements and your drinks. That could be a nice Pims in the garden. Here he is, just bliss. Carnation mouse. He's sat with his little rolled up towel and his picnic blanket. Some of the DT have used him as maybe he's had one too many, and others have used him so he's just gazing at the sun. You know how you do when you lie back on your hands and you look up at the sun and you get all sleepy and lovely. So it's got all of that element to it. And it's very sunny outside here today, so it's got that nice ring to it too. We got the gnomes. You got to love a gnome. Up for a party. They've got their base layers, so you can use them independently, again, as a card. Another thing that you can do, because the hands are there, you could cut these as card bases, so cut them twice, score at 1/2 inch, put their little bodies on and put a sentiment between them. So they would be holding a sentiment because their little hands are outstretched. So that's another alternative to do with them too. Lots and lots of ways of playing, isn't there? There's loads and loads of things we can do. Because their hands are shaped the way they are obviously able to hold ice creams, flowers, lollies, vino. They can hold the lot because they're very clever gnomes. Very clever gnomes. We've then got your borders, baskets and beds, and this is just outstanding. What a knockout board. You've got your florals. These are going to create your higher florals, your wider florals, and also your full basket of florals as well. These will overhang, so it gives you that kind of idea of either a hanging basket or those window baskets that we were looking at with the grand window. You've also got your individual tuck-in florals as well, so you can just build up and create bigger blooms with that, along with a grounding device, which is obviously the soil element here. You've got your basket, you've got your vase, and you've got your flower pot. So huge, huge collection, isn't it, Summer Cascades? Loads and loads for you to sink your teeth into. I know some of you will have already got yours. Excitingly as well, some of you will have already downloaded your artwork from the Carnation Crafts website, so you'll be able to get going with that. On the Carnation Crafts website, they're doing you a special deal today, and that is this week only, the Summer Cascades full, complete colour download is available to you. Instead of for £20, they're giving it to you for £5. Your original colourway remains free, of course, but if you want to get the complete colour download, you will be able to choose from 5 different colourways. That's the original and then 4 additional colourways, which means literally it doesn't matter what the occasion, it doesn't matter what season, you will be able to mix and match to your heart's content with everything you need. It's such a really valid valid way of building up your collection. So it means you've got so much more scope, doesn't it? But that is going to go back up to £20, and that'll go up at the end of the week at the same time that the dies do. So the time to buy is obviously this week. This is your last live show with Summer Cascades, so it's the last chance that you'll get to get it while we are streaming live. You will be able to continue to purchase from the Carnation website, I would imagine, for today, but I think it's going to sell out. So that's going to be your last opportunity. We will take it to Hobby Maker, of course, but now's your time to get free P&P, and now's your time to be able to get hold of it probably tomorrow. Obviously, Carnation do everything they can, but we do depend on Royal Mail. So we have got... Are you okay, Taz?
I was just going to say that Linda's got her order in her hands.
Oh, that's so exciting. Have you actually cut anything out yet, Linda? Or are you just sitting it within your paws? It's so exciting when it arrives. And we were talking this morning about, you know, the joy of Carnation is that you tend to get it the next day when you order it from them. They can't guarantee it, but they do everything they can to get it that way. And we were talking about, we live in a kind of society now, don't we, where things are fast and furious. So it's almost jarring when we have to wait for something that we've purchased. So I love the fact that Carnation get it to you as fast as possible. Yes,
They're not
Taz.
mic'd up, obviously, but also you have to usually pay a subscription to get things next day.
That's true. Normally, Taz is saying, if you can't hear her, that on something like Amazon, that sort of thing, you do pay a subscription to get next day postage. Carnation don't do that. They don't do that, and they're very good for it. All of their postage is an incredible price anyway, but then to be able to get it for free if you spend over £50, kudos to them, because I think we all appreciate that. Let's have a look at this Arbor Stepper card, which I am absolutely smitten with. I think engineering is such an important part of craft, and it's an important part of advancing what we do when we craft. Carnation are pioneers when it comes to transforming dies and their ability to create shape and do various different things. They give us versatility, and they give us much more flexibility as crafters to be able to go forward. And that's something that we've grown to love and depend on with Carnation, because it just gives us all of these different elements. If you want to use the card base with that stepper card, you absolutely can. That gives it an alternative kind of viewpoint, so you can see the two differences there very, very clearly. Now, I think the really important value of that shot that you've got there with those two, that's the same card. And that's, to me, is insane. This is what we're talking about when we talk about advanced engineering with Carnation, because we can create these shapes. We can do this in its natural form or something completely different. That is the same card. This is what we talk about when we say, you know, if you give Carnation die sets to 100 people, you'll get 100 different cards. Because this is the point, isn't it? And this is why the value of Carnation is so extensive, because there's so much to do with all the variants. That beautiful grand window, which I have just fallen completely in love with. Look at that. And we will work with that today as well. So you will see that in demo. We'll do that for the first demo. But it's so pretty. Really, really beautifully done. You can take this then. So if I leave that where it is, and then add in the little gnomes. So the window set becomes something completely different, doesn't it? We're now using it independently. We don't have to use it as a main, you know, part of a main card. It will just see as it is. This little card here, which looks like a shop window, doesn't it? So we take it from being something from, say, a Summer Fate, and suddenly it's a shop window, so it becomes something else. And again, we talk about versatility, and a lot of that is to do with the engineering that Nick and the creative team do themselves. It's just awesome to work with. Then we've got this one seated here as well, where we use that grand window at the back of that Arbor Stepper card, so that we're changing again. There's so many variants that we can use, so many different ways that we can play with this. Look at this card. So that's got the Arbor Stepper, it's got the grand window, it's got the rose corner, it's got the other corners there as well. It's got so many elements. I think one of the only elements it's mainly missing on there, of course, is the mouse. You can build to your heart's content with this collection. We don't get, in the industry, many scene buildings. We get elements, don't we, in collections to make cards with, and they're obviously very valid. But to have ones where we get to build the scenes, kind of that idea of a doll's house, that's a really nice place to be as well, because we're very, very independent in our choices then. I love that one. I think it's so happy. And it becomes a door because she's such a titch. You've got this really nice little door. It's really, really sweet. I love it very much. Right, let's have a look at doing a demo for you so you can see it in action. Yes, Taz?
Just while you're getting ready,
Yeah.
Alison has said it's been a blessing having the complete colourway. Needed blue balloons and they were there.
There you go. And that's the point, isn't it? I think, Alison, is that those extra colourways, I was saying it yesterday, it's really hard to explain because obviously, you know, we've seen extra colourways for variant things before, but to have 4 colourways on top of the original one, there's literally, I can't think of a time when you're going to struggle then to make the right card in the right colour combination, because everything's there. And you don't have to fully always use Carnation, but those elements are going to be really valuable to you in so many of your card making experiences going forward. So that's really nice. Yes, Taz.
We've also had a few more people saying hello. So Alison is also saying she's making her first card as we speak.
I likes that.
Karen is saying hello to everyone. She's had an email saying that her collection's been delivered by 3. By 3?
We like.
She probably got it yesterday.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
Linda's saying that everything's beautiful and hello. Pamela has just said, I have just received my order, all printed and ready to play when I stop work at 3.
Ooh, work's getting in the way of what you want to do right now. You're going to have so much fun. I love the idea that loads of you are going to be sitting with this later.
And then over on the YouTube, for Angela, who is saying good morning. Good afternoon, silly me. The colours in this collection are so soft and beautiful. And Donna from Australia saying hello.
Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, the colours are very, you know, Love Heart Sweets. It gives me that vibe. Those very soft. They're not pastels particularly, but they're not bright. They're a really beautiful, almost mid-tone, aren't they? And they're very hazy. It's like a summer hazy day. They fit so well with the theme. And this is a prime example, that beautiful kind of toned peach. It's like a honey peach. It's a very, very pretty colour. Reminds me of my Nana's roses when she was alive. We've got the sort of muted one here where you're using the stripes. So this has got a pattern to it. For those of you who've never bought perfect papers and, you know, might not understand the value of them, the reason that the perfect papers are so important is that when Nick creates, and the team, sorry, when they create the artwork, they colour pick. So for instance, if I was to take, let me take the rose corner as an example. If I hold this up to you, you look at that and you go, it's a pink rose and it's got the green foliage around it. Nick maybe doesn't see things quite the way we do because he's got a very different mind, very creative mind. If you actually start to look in those roses, you'll see that we have peach tones. So they seat in that centre of that rose. And then we've got the pinks, we've got the kind of white tone there as well, that toned down piece. So can you see the peach tones here? The green obviously has variant shades in it as well. So because of that, Nick then colour picks. So if I pick up my perfect paper, you see the peach in the flowers? Now I was just going to put this on top. There is not one clash in there at all. It cannot clash because that peach tone that is in the middle of that rose is the same peach tone that you're getting in your perfect paper. That will be the same on every single perfect paper that you pick up. There will be a colour match within the collection. All hues follow that same pattern too. So you're never going to be able to build, you know, the wrong colours. You're never going to get that clash, and that's why your perfect papers are so important. Please do always try and get your perfect papers with the collection. The $14.99, they are well worth it. You get 48 sheets, so it's a huge pack. It's 300 GSM, and you're going to get 6 colour variations. Some of those will be block colours. Some of them will have a pattern on it, so you get to play with that. It's all the different variants, and they're just incredibly useful. Now, I'm just going to lay these on top. I do apologise. I believe somebody is drilling next door. So you may hear some noise. It's not Taz in the corner, which is what I originally thought. I think it's next door's drilling. Just bear with me. So I'm just going to place this on top of here and piece down. So that will seat there. So I've got that beautiful colour tone coming. And then I have got my white on top, and that's just going to cool everything down all together. So we're just going through and placing that down there. There you go. So now I'm going to use that window, and I love this so much. It really does lend itself on foam tape, so that rise, that depth, because the shadow's coming through, but also the sense of distance between the backing paper and then what's in front of it. If you use the extra dye that comes around the edge, the matte dye, you can obviously put it in one of the perfect papers if you've got white on top, and it will give it the sense of having wallpaper. We've got those dotty pieces, remember, so you can actually use that as if it's a wallpaper, and it looks incredible. So don't forget to think of the different ways you can do it. Now, I have cut my pips away, so this is open, but all that involves is using a craft knife or a pair of scissors, and there's tiny, tiny pips in there that allow you to pull this back so your window can be open, and it just gives it a completely different viewpoint. Now I can place this onto here, so I've got that window, and already we're starting to build that scene. It's already starting to look very, very pretty. I want my mouse to be sitting in the window or just in front so I can make decisions as I go. But I want to talk to you about this piece. I've cut the legs off, so I've just got that plain piece, which would have been the table. But the settee then fits directly on top. I can make that one full settee, or I can make it obviously separate elements. It can be the table, so super economical that way. I want that to sit in front of the window. So if I place the window here, make sure my little mouse can sit inside. Now I think his tail is going to be too long, and it will just poke outside of the window. So we're looking at those elements before we commit anything down, because otherwise it's going to look a little bit odd. So making sure you can either cover him all or just cut a little bit off that tail, and you'll be able to control what you're doing. I think I can manage him, but I am just going to snip a tiny bit off his tail so I don't risk any danger of it poking out the end of it and ruining the illusion. So I'm taking...
It sounds like they're coming through.
So I do apologise for that. It's either drilling next door or it's Taz's tummy. Right, we've got this here. So he's seated, and now the tail's no danger at all. Once I've got him placed, I can put my thumb to hold him, I can lift, and I can start to run my adhesive. I'll put a little bit more of that down so that I've got it fully fresh and wet. Good Lord. I think they're definitely trying to get to us, Taz. Place that there. Did you have your Weetabix this morning, Taz?
Oh, they really want this collection, don't
They really do want the collection, yes. They're desperately coming through to try and get it. It sounds like they are actually going to come through the doors.
Because it's right ahead of me.
Well, at least you'll be the first to go. I can carry on demoing. Right, let's pull that open. Now, if you want to, you can place a small amount of adhesive at either side, and that will keep the window open. You can keep one closed, one open, as if they're just letting in some breeze. It's up to you, whichever way you want to do it, but I think it's super, super sweet. Either way, I'm going to put a little bit of adhesion down to keep one of those windows open. So use your applicator and just run that along, and that will allow me to just pin that back. You don't need to do that, but it's a nice way so the recipient, you know, it's always going to be that way, because your recipient may not know to open it. That's just going to pin it there. And then I want to come in with my settee. So the reason I did that part first is because then I can place this here and I can put the wood underneath it so that I know I've got all the elements where I want them to be. So this is going to be my foreground. I'm just going to seat that with that little ribbon tucked over the top. See how it's a perfect fit? There's no mistakes with Carnation. They know what they're doing in terms of everything as far as depth of field is concerned, sizing is concerned, everything works. So now I can just place this underneath. If I just pick that up slightly and pop it, let me just get in there so that it sits. And I just want those sofa cushions to just sit on that wood pane. Perfect. Pretty, 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 right? So already we're building that gorgeous, gorgeous scene. Now I want to bring in some of my roses to build that corner. So I'm going to put this one on here, and I'm going to put this one at the opposing side. So just down here. So we're just creating something very fresh, very sweet, not too busy, but not too plain either. I've got my little mouse seated here, so we're going to put some elements on the settee that he can eat, and I'm going to build my vines at the side just to create a bit more fullness in that white space. So the first thing I'll do is take the edges off here, or take the backing off. Good Lord. It does sound like they're going to come through the wall.
I mean, they could have waited half an hour.
Right, let's place this on. And down. And then this one as well. There we go. Oh, it goes very quiet, doesn't it, when the drill stops? So we're just framing now, and those roses are so perfect for framing. Now, as far as my decoupage elements are concerned on here, I am going to use them, but I will just do the two main florals, so these two, to just build and lift that, because I want the focal point here. So just very, very quickly build those in from the outside to the in. You can hear it clicking where those little cut lines are giving way, which is always useful to have. And then we're just going to build up with that pin flare to create that beautiful decoupage piece. For those of you who've never used a silicone gel glue before, it will take 24 hours to dry properly. Please do give it time to breathe and to just dry, and then everything will set like concrete, so you can post them out with no problems. But it does add just that beautiful touch of sort of depth, doesn't it? Now, I've got my vine here, and I can choose to just place one just at the side. It's just going to take a little bit of my white space away, and it will also balance the fact that I've pinned my window down, so I'm going to use that. Now, you can use these vines very much if you want to add in some of those florals as tuck-ins going down the vine. They look super pretty as well. So play with the elements that you've got to build up different scenes. And I'm just going to come in with my applicator and a small amount of adhesion here, just to pin it at the side, just there, and that'll balance out the distance between the two. So then from there, we're just going to pop some elements on the settee, ready for when he comes out, or just for him to lean over and grab his picnic, because he's a very content little mouse, and he's a very happy little mouse. So let's just follow those cut lines there, just to shape this out. Give it a nice round boost. That beautiful jug. And follow this round. There's something about summer gardens, isn't there? Just that beautiful feel of being outside. Barbecues. We were talking about barbecues as well this morning. We're getting to that point. So I'm just going to place these in and on. And I'm just going to work in the little picnic basket down here, and then I've got a glass of wine or a glass of something. It could be lemonade. And that's just going to be by his little feetsies. Woof! That now sounds like a very angry drill. Obviously thinks the mouse should be drinking it and it shouldn't be by his feet. It's a very angry drill. Super cute card making. Carnation at its finest. We have got so many elements in Summer Cascade to build the most glorious cards. There's no wonder this is selling out. It's not going to last for the rest of the day. 240501 Summer Cascades collection. Show price today $129.99. That's free UK P&P. If you buy them all individually, it's going to cost you £168.92, so that makes no sense at all. The normal price for the collection itself will be £149.99 as of next week, so this is your only opportunity to get it at that price. The perfect papers that go with the collection are available from the Carnation Crafts website as well. I do advise you to buy the two together rather than independently because it's over £50, so you get free P&P. However, if you do choose to buy them individually, which you're more than welcome to do, 240510, that's going to be a £2.95 UK P&P. Please do remember to use the QR codes at the bottom for ease of use. It'll take you straight to the individual items that you're looking for as well, and that helps. And finally, on that note, don't forget those extra colourways because they're really useful and they're so pretty. Lots of playways for you there. Taz is showing you all the different kind of colourways that you're getting. So you'll get the original one and 4 extra for the insane price of £5. It should be 20. So they're giving you it for 15 quid off, which is pretty good going, isn't it? Right? So you're going to get all of that. Just think of all the playthings that you've got when you get all of that home. It's going to be so exciting. Now, the wonderful, wonderful team at Carnation have made you a video to show you some more of these finished samples. So you can have a look at that. Then we'll come back and we're going to do a second demo for you in the latter half of the show. So have a look at this video and we'll see you at the other side. There is Summer Cascades. That video is so cute, isn't it? It's so lovely. And I love the shot where they show the die of the mouse because I think it shows you the absolute insane quality of a Carnation die. 240501 for the Summer Cascades collection. Last chance today, £129.99. It's going to sell out, so I don't think you'll have much more opportunity after that on the Carnation site. Free UK P&P though, and you can use that QR code to take you straight to the item, so you don't have to go ferreting too far. It's all there for you. Right, let's look at what the DT team got up to. I've shown you a couple of these. We'll just have another look. So you've got your arbor stepper shape there, which is just incredible. Look at that. I love it. It's like being in a greenhouse, my Nana's greenhouse. I used to love my Nana's greenhouse. Look at this. Clean, simple, wonderful lines. I love that so much. It's just pretty as a picture, isn't it? Elegant lines. We're going to work with that card shape next. So you've had a flavour of all of them this morning. You've got your with love. Celebrate your day. Aren't they gorgeous? Let's bring in those little gnomes, those busy, busy little gnomes. Here's a question. How many of you have actually got gnomes in your garden? Bring in that arbor stepper. I love that. Look at that. Just party time, isn't it? I tell you what, there's something very Great British Bake Off, isn't there, about this collection? There's something, it's got, you know, when you see the tent on Bake Off and you've got that summer feeling, that's what this absolutely gives you. It's so perfect. It's just one of those joyful collections that we've got. So 240501 on the Carnation Crafts website. You can always come back to watch the demos, but shop ahead so that you don't lose out on that fabulous show price that we've got this week. Right, let's build some cards. I'm going to have a look at that card base again that comes with the grand window, mainly because I'm in love with it. It's so, so pretty. So let's build up a card base. A little bit of shuffling. And we've got all the elements laid out. That is summer personified. I love that green. It's so pretty. How many of you are going to garden parties this year? Summer Fates. Let's pop that down. And then that is just so beautiful. It's really pretty. When you've got it and you've got the green matte layer here and you lay this on top, it almost gives you the idea of a table with a tablecloth anyway. Just that idea of it flowing downwards. Super pretty before you ever start. The great thing about having a card shape that's super pretty before you ever start is actually it takes some of the onus off us, doesn't it, to build, because we've already got this really pretty foundation. And that's why I always love Carnation's nested dies, because we have the foundation before we ever go any further, and that helps. It also helps us visualize in our mind where we're going to go with the card, so we never get wasted. Right, I have got my little grounding device here, and I'm just going to use that to lay down, so I've got a piece of mud there. Now, I don't want to interfere with the very pretty, delicate bottom of the card this time, so I'm going to lay that so it just sits on top of the point. The thing with a grounding device is it doesn't matter where you put it. All it is an aid and a technique to help us make sense of what we're building, so I can have it high up, I can have it low down, it doesn't matter. So you can build it wherever. You don't have to have it at the bottom of a card because it's the grounding device. Right, place this in. Small amounts of adhesive here just to pin it. Making sure that I don't interfere with the bottom of that beautiful design. Once I've got it where I want it, I can then commit. So placing down just thither. And that's got me my little grounding device. Now, my table. Let's talk about the table for a minute. That, as it stands, is like a coffee table. So you've got the kind of short legs, and I want to exchange it for the tall legs. Now, you've got two options here. You can, well, you've got several, but I could cut off those little legs and then just stick down the table wherever I want it. So whatever height I want that to be. Your alternative, of course, is to use these as a tab that you glue the legs to. It's up to you. I'm going to use them as a tab in this instance, so I can place this straight on top of that tab, and suddenly I've got the long length table. It's so clever. Just make sure I've got enough adhesion there, and there we go. Just match it up to that one and place down. Isn't that awesome? So simple and so clever. Love it very, very much. Right, I'm going to put my table down. That's going to be my center point. There goes the drill in again. I do apologise. Unfortunately, we don't get to control next door. Place that down. I'm going to take my rose corner and place it over the top here so that it's just seated nicely. I do want to use pin flare on this. I do want to raise it a little bit. It's just going to give me a bit of difference. When people use drills in short bursts and then long bursts, it sounds like they're having a conversation. Always makes me chuckle. Right. Let's have a look at these. Now, if I place my napkins on just slightly off the edge so I can still see the edge of the table, or my tablecloth, and then the other side, I did have a second one, there it is. Pin that down there. And then, if I bring in the little white ones, to give it that napkin feel. So I'm just going to put this slightly over. The next one the same. Just piecing that in. And then I've got the large one that I can put over the top, she says, there. So it kind of builds it. So it's almost like we've got runners, table runners, that kind of thing. So just placing that there to piece it. So you've got that beautiful tablecloth structure that's coming through, and it's very, very sweet. Now, on my table, what would we have on a table on a summer's afternoon in a summer fete? Well, maybe a pot of tea. I once went to, nobody's interested in this, but I'm going to tell you, I once went to a garden party in a vicarage, and this reminds me of that. Very, very soft, toned down, beautiful elements. And at the vicarage we had scones, or if you're from Hull, a scone. Pop in my cake. Let's build that scene up. Little bottle of wine. And then a second one. Just slightly overlapping. So you've got the elements seated there. And then I've got my little picnic basket. Going to go down here. My little glass of vino here. And I'm just going to seat that next to that, just to fill that gap. Well, that's a party table I'd like to approach, Taz. And then in comes his lordship, just very little happy belly there. Pull his head forward, fill him with some glue gel, pop him down here, and then, because he's a very naughty mouse, he's stolen a bottle of wine from the top table, and he's having a very lovely time. And then we're just going to fill in. I'll run out of silicone gel glue there. So we're just going to fill in those decoupage elements here. Oh, there we go. Piece them on. Just to build up that dimension, give it that finishing touch, and then your all-important tuck-ins, which just add a little fullness to it to create that finished scene. So placing in, tuck them in wherever you feel is comfortable. Tuck-ins are a beautiful extra little tool that we have to add fullness. The great thing about Carnation is we can snip in and we can tuck in. So we get to reduce or enlarge our viewing area depending what we do with the little cuts that we've got. So put that in to add that extra little bit of fullness using those tuck-ins, and we have something really sweet. That's a little garden party with a very naughty drunk mouse. Cute as a button, right? So this is the point with Carnation. We choose a collection like Summer Cascades, and from Summer Cascades it comes out literally hundreds of cards that stem from our imaginations and the power of our hands. 240501 for the Summer Cascades collection. You've got a usual price of $149.99. That's going to be at the end of the week. For now, you can get it for $129.99. Thank you very much. Plus free UK P&P. That means you're getting a massive discount on it. But today is the last chance that you'll get it while we are live on the Carnation Studios. So you get ahead of us, but there's not much left. So I don't know how lucky any of you will be. Any of you come to us later on this evening, we may have sold out. So apologies to you if that has happened. And it could be that your last chance will be on Hobby Maker on Friday. So you're going to have to get ahead of the game. Summer Cascades is entirely beautiful. We're going to have a look at some more finished samples, and we're going to have a look through the boards just so you've got another last idea, because this is obviously the last show. So we'll finish it off by showing you those boards and some finished samples so you can see it all coming together before we say goodbye to Summer Cascades launch on Carnation channel. I hate the last show. I don't like finishing the launches. I love them very much. And this has been such a fabulous launch, hasn't it, guys? Really, really beautiful stuff. So let's have a look again. One last look at what you're going to be getting. Your gorgeous Arbor Stepper card. Not only do you get the card base itself, you also get your decoupage elements, the hanging basket, the vine, enjoy your day sentiment. It's all there for you. Loads of ways to construct. We did the full constructs with this yesterday. You will also see full constructs with it on Hobbymaker on Friday. I'll do a couple of full constructs on Hobbymaker, so please do watch back all of the shows and you'll get to see it in loads of different variants. But you do you with this. It's an incredible card shape and there's so much you can make with it. So really go to town with it, explore it, look for inspiration from the DT as well. You're going to be just crafting your little hearts out. That's stunner, isn't it? If you've got the extra colorways, how many roses are you going to have? How many corners? And you'll be able to mix and match them as well, so they're just going to look extremely pretty. So you've got the big rose corner here. You've got your decoupage elements, all three for the different roses that you've got. Use them independently, use them together, and then this beautiful muted corner that you've got at the other side, which is incredibly elegant, and it goes together with that window like nothing else. With love, that gorgeous sentiment. And here's the window itself, the grand window. Card base as well, so that's a whole collection just on its own, isn't it? You've got those window boxes, you've got all of the elements coming through, you've got the window, you've got the card base, you've got the mats and layers. It's perfect. It's such an incredible set. I love that very, very much, and it's very, very regal, isn't it? And how we can change it about. You've then got your sunny celebrations. So you've got your balloons, your flags, your banners. You've got the bunting lights here as well, the little fairy lights that you would have. Your lollipops. You've got your ice creams. A full cake with a slice taken out of it, and then the slice itself next to it. So again, scene building, aren't we? We're building those scenes, we're telling those stories. You've got a bottle of wine and 2 glasses of wine, and you've also got what perhaps water glasses, that's something along those lines, or maybe some lemonade, we don't know. You've then got this incredibly clever sofa and table. Now, we've been looking at this through all the shows, so many ways of playing it. You can separate out the cushions, so you can use them independently. You can choose to use it as a whole sofa. You can pop it onto the table if you choose to. You can extend the table legs, so then it becomes like a tall sofa, it might be. So it's lots of different ways, isn't there, of playing with it. This whole set is beyond useful. You've just seen us using the tablecloth and napkins. You've also then got your teapot and your teacups, and you've got your lemonade glass and the 2 glasses down here full of something delightful. And then after that, you've got your Just Bliss. You've seen me using him lots. Very much in love with the Carnation mice, and he is no exception. Looking up to that sun, sunning himself, tanning himself, and then we've got your little picnic basket and that beautiful rolled up towel as well. So you, again, scene building. That's that full construct, isn't it? So this could be his little picnic rug. So he unrolls it, ready to have his picnic all at once. Maybe he forgot to unroll it because he's just enjoying the sun. Little gnomes, all ready for business. They're very happy, they're very joyful. They've got those open arms so they can hold elements. They could hold a sentiment between them. They could hold lollipops, ice creams. They can hold wine bottles, flowers. They can hold balloons, all of the elements. And you've got those gorgeous mat layers for them as well. So card bases on their own. And then I think Taz's favourite board here, the borders, baskets and beds. And that's where you get these beautiful flow lines for your florals. You've got the high floral, the wide floral, and that flower basket floral that'll hang over, so an overhanging floral. You've got your basket, your pot and your vase. You've got the grounding device. We've used this in loads of different ways through the shows. It's incredibly clever. Remember, you can also cut it down if you want smaller elements. So there's all different options. Then you've got your tuck-in florals. So those elements that we took in to build a scene, to make it fuller, incredibly, bless you, incredibly important devices. Summer Cascades has got everything in it that you could possibly need to make all of those gorgeous get-together friendship cards, wedding cards, christening cards. There's so many ways, even down, and we did discuss this earlier, there are elements that you can use there for sympathy cards too. Remember the different colorways. If you're buying those different colorways, they will then spread for all occasions, no matter what. They're on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Go and grab them while they're only a £5. That's such an awesome price, isn't it? And that's down from £20, but it's only until the end of the week, because they'll go back up to £20. So today is your chance to go and do that as well. So loads and loads of discount from Carnation this week. So massive thank you to them, because actually we've had such a great reduction in it. Now I'm going to show some final finish samples as well. Yes, Taz?
Kate's watching us by the river in Richmond.
Well, we can be happy for Kate.
It's a nice place.
It is a beautiful place, Richmond. She looks very jealous, Kate. But I'm also very jealous, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you have a picnic and some pims. That would be very nice. So Vera Bow's card here, using the arbor stepper shape. Pretty as a picture. He's very happy. It's amusing me greatly that lots of us have placed a little extra bottle of wine with our mouse. I don't know if that says more about us or more about the mouse. There's those gnomes celebrating, having the best time ever, stealing more wine. I'm going to think that little mouse has got a problem by the end of all these detail cards. How pretty is that? I love that card. It's very simple in its form. It's very, very pretty. Gorgeous birthday card there. Lots of ways of building it, isn't there? There's a ton of different ways of building these collections. Using the arbor card shape, bringing in the grand window card shape like we did before. Got these, got more cards than hands. Little gnomes. Or are you going to use it in its complete form, with that little window on the front? Beautiful line, isn't it? It's a really, really pretty line. Really, really enjoy this collection. I think it's just been a real boon to work with, because there's so many formats for it. It doesn't seem to sort of end. It's limitless. I love limitless ideas. And everyone different. So there you go. It's always sad when we do the last show on the Carnation channel for our big launch weeks. There's always a tinge of sadness, because we love working with them so much. But the joy of that is that we then hand that over to you guys to come into the group, show us what cards you've been making, so we can continue to live on with the collection. And so we see it through your eyes, which is really nice, because we get new, fresh inspiration. Everybody joining as a sort of a team, and when we see all the different elements, it's a joy to watch it sort of expand in that way. We will be back with it on Hobby Maker on Friday, but like we say, you will pay your postage there, so just bear that in mind. It is obviously always easier to get it from Carnation themselves. Those of you who are lucky enough to buy it today before 2 p.m. probably will have it in your hands by tomorrow, which means you can get everything printed tonight, ready for when that is delivered to you. I hope you have a really, really wonderful Thursday tomorrow, rest of your Wednesday today. I'll see you on Friday, and then Taz and I will be back with you here on Tuesday, because on Monday we've got a launch of the next USB. Am I right?
I'm off on Monday, I don't know.
No, I'm on Hobby Maker on Monday with a new USB. And then we've got it on Tuesday.
Oh.
I know. Never stops being exciting. So I will see you Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So, and all of the things in between. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you have some happy crafting with your brand new Summer Cascades. Take care till I see you on Friday. Stay safe. Bye.